Hannah Cain, hi, welcome to
Hi.
back. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Obviously, the announcements just happened this morning, so yeah, buzzing. Can't wait to
Yeah,
get started.
on cloud nine, you'll be on that plane to Switzerland in a couple of weeks'
Yeah,
time.
yeah, it's still quite surreal to be honest. Don't think it'll sink in properly until we're actually there and everything gets going and things. But we obviously have our little pre-camp first, which is we start on Sunday. So yeah, it still feels quite far away, but I'm sure it'll come straight round.
It's definitely, I feel like it's coming at us like hard and fast at the moment. I don't
Yeah.
what it must feel like for you, but I'm just like, we're honestly days away now, like a couple of weeks, but it feels like days.
Yeah, it's been like a thing where you felt like it's so far away in the future, and then all of a sudden you blink and it's just round the corner. So yeah, it is really surreal, but everybody's so excited for it, and every time someone mentions it, it's amazing how many people know what's happening with women's football now. It just shows how far it's come, and I think the tournament's going to be probably the best one yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really do hope that, as we saw last time, that it gives women's football that boost that it kind of did last time. I hope that it's, everyone gets behind all the teams and really it gives it that kind of boost again.
Yeah, well, we've obviously this is our first major tournament, and we've already seen a massive increase in girls' football just in Wales alone. So, and that's before the tournament's even kicked off. It's unreal, and I think we're one of the top couple of nations that have sold the most tickets, and we're probably one of the smallest nations there, if not the smallest. And if little Wales can do that, then it's going to be amazing to see how many other things come from it.
Small but mighty. That's what we're
Yeah,
going to go
absolutely.
with.
Yeah,
So in terms of kind of the rest of the squad, we spoke actually last month, I think May.
yeah.
Spoke about Sophie Ingle, Jess Fishlock, and Kaylee Barton all being kind of out with injuries. They're all in the squad that we've just heard been announced. How important is it to have those players available, like both on and off the pitch, because they're big characters with a lot of experience between them as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, one of the main feelings when we qualified was finally like these guys that have tried for so many years can do that and share that special moment as well, and they haven't missed out on it. Obviously, Soph's been touch and go for a while. It's always been quite close, and she's done unbelievable to get back. And obviously, I've been in that position myself twice, and it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do, and to be able to do that in time to come back for the Euros just shows the dedication and the type of person that Soph is. She'd do anything for her country, and that shows it. Like I say, to be able to put herself in a position to be selected to be in the squad of 23 is absolutely outstanding, and we're all so proud of her, and we can't wait to get there, and hopefully you guys will see her play some minutes in the Euros, and it'll be an amazing achievement for her, and it's an amazing achievement already just being there. And the same with Jess and Kaylee. Haz is still young but still so experienced. Like, these players have been on the journey for so many years now, and they've really started it for us. And not that it's the end, but it could be the end for a couple of them if they decide that it is. And what a way to go out. Jess as well. She had an injury a couple of camps ago, and that was pretty tight. But again, the same as Kaylee, they're just determined to do the best that they can for themselves and for Wales.
So Sophie obviously has 141 caps for her country,
Yeah.
and obviously, like you kind of touched on there, we might not see her play in the group stages. We're not quite sure when she will be kind of fit and ready yet. But even just having her there, like on the sidelines, that must be a big boost for the team because she is such an experienced player. She can bring so much, advice, bit of calm energy, and everything
Mm.
like that. How important is it to just, have her there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Soph's the cool head of the camp. She's so chill. The way that she plays is the way that she is. She has loads of time on the ball, and you don't know how she's got that much time, but she creates that for her. And anything goes wrong in a moment of panic, she's the one there to calm everybody down, and you get a sense of relief when she's around. And She brings the vibes of the camps up. She's a real special person to have around, and honestly, she's got a heart of gold, and she'd be there for every single player on the team. And yeah, she's in the squad. She's fit. She can play. So hopefully we see her. And yeah, even if she wasn't, just having her even on the bench would be enough to give the girls some sort of experience and off the pitch in terms of the morale around the camp. Having somebody like Soph that's been through it many years is yeah, it's credit to herself really.
We've kind of seen the same with England. We obviously saw Mary Earps retire, and I just thought like even if I understood the reasons why she stepped back, but even if she was the number two, I just thought, having her there as that presence, like she's done it before, she's been there, she's got that experience. Like even if she wasn't playing and Serena picked Hannah, like just having her there would have been a little boost. And I feel like, having these players there for Wales is going to kind of really boost them, like both on and off the pitch.
Yeah, 100%. Anybody that's in that position, like obviously Mary has her own reasons, and I'm not going to comment on that. Like I don't know the ins and outs of it, but in terms of Soph, and even if Jess and Kaylee was still in that position, we as a squad would want them there. And I think that's just the bond that you have and what you build over all the years. But whether I think in terms of Soph, whether she made the squad or not, should have always been there. And we have a couple of players that haven't been as fortunate as some, and I'm sure they'll still be flying out to support. I think people booked their flights a long time ago just because of the experience. And whatever you are, whether you're in the squad and you might not even play a single minute, and it's just what happens in football. It's life, but in terms of the experience in general, it's going to be one not to forget.
Well, it's a historic moment, isn't it? You're not going to want to miss it.
Oh, absolutely! It's the first time the women have qualified for a major tournament, and hopefully it's not the last. But I think because there's quite a few firsts, that's really exciting.
And Wales have kind of been billed as the underdogs going into this. Is that kind of going to be like your secret weapon, Because does it take the pressure off a little bit?
Yeah, I don't think we feel any pressure. I think we have our own standards, and we know what we want to achieve as a group. We're not going there thinking, "Oh, we're the underdogs. We're not gonna win. We're not like we don't have that mentality in terms of the outside looking in. Like everybody can say that we're the underdogs and things like that, but we have our own view of ourselves, and it's quite exciting with that perspective. And we can go into the tournament, we have nothing to lose but everything to gain. It's an experience that I will certainly never ever forget, and everybody else there, and hopefully the nation won't ever forget. And we've got the real opportunity to do something unbelievable. Um, and we have the ability and the capability to do that as well. So yeah, we don't really care what other people say about us. We're just excited to show what we can do.
Absolutely. And I do think it could also like play to your advantage a little bit that, if other teams are kind of underestimating you, like we saw with Arsenal in the Champions League, no one thought they were going to beat
Mm.
Barcelona. And like, look what they did. And I just think sometimes it can play to your advantage if like your opponent's like, oh, this is going to be a walk in the park or however they kind of,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they're hit and it's like, oh, kind of throws
I
them off the
think
game a bit.
naturally sometimes you don't particularly go into a game thinking, "Oh, this is going to be easy. It's going to be a walkover." But naturally, like you'd go into a game thinking we should be winning this. Like we're however many ranks above the team that we're playing, we should be winning this. This is ours to win. Whereas the other team goes into it thinking we're going to take something from you and show you why we should be ranked the same as you. So it's just different mindsets, but sometimes it's not going into it thinking this is easy. It's just okay, we should be winning this. Um, so yeah, it's going to be really interesting. Honestly, I think it's going to be one of the most competitive Euros we've had. Our Nations League just now has been really competitive, and to not get like stay in the group with the performances that we've had just shows how competitive things are getting now, and how teams like us are closing the gap.
Yeah, it's incredible. I'm so excited. But
Mm.
kind of on that, I feel like Wales maybe haven't, and you said you're kind of not listening to outside noise and people can have their opinions, but it's very much in camp what the feeling is. But I feel like Wales haven't maybe been getting the love that they deserve necessarily because it is a historic moment. You guys have qualified for your first major tournament, but we've seen kind of, again, people kind of calling the team the underdogs or comparing you to other teams in the group. And then as well, we've seen fans not been able to like personalize their away kit and everything. Is that something that kind of that you're aware of in camp, or are you kind of blocking out all of that noise?
I think to us, all we know is what's going on in Wales, to be honest, and we've had a lot of love from the fans and the country, and us as players wanted to do a little bit of a give back to the girls in Wales. So we did something on our last camp where we as the players organised with help from members of staff and the community and things. We organised a send off camp where young girls around Wales could come, and we did it in groups. So whilst we were on camp after our Denmark game, we went to visit. We spent the afternoon with them, and I think when you're in a bubble like that, and you know that the country's behind you, like anything outside of that doesn't really come in. Um, like when you're saying like there's not much buzz, like we don't feel that because of how much the buzz is from our small but mighty country. So yeah, it's, to be honest, it's a little bit irrelevant. We're super proud to have done what we've done, and achieved what we've achieved, and everybody in Wales and on camp makes us feel as special as we should. So I'm sure we go to the camp and it'll just get even better.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I wanted to talk about your because you obviously scored in the game that put you through to this. You scored a penalty after a kind of nil-nil first half. How was that?
Yeah.
How does that goal rank in terms of you know, your career?
Oh,
How
I
high
mean,
up
it's
is that?
definitely the most important goal I've ever scored so far. Hopefully, there's a few more to come in the Euros. Um, it's probably the one that I'm not sure if this is the right terminology, but holds the most weight. There was a lot that I'd gone through that built up to that point in terms of injuries and struggling through that and not thinking I would come back to it, and then that being one of the first moments that I had coming back, and just a sense of relief really. And there's so much that had built up to the moment when I was stood on the penalty spot. It didn't go through my mind at that point because I think as athletes you learn to block everything out. But as soon as the final whistle blew, or probably as soon as I came off the pitch, I thought, wow. Um, and it did take a good couple of weeks for it to sink in, and I still can't quite believe it, to be honest. I still watch the goal back. Um, but yeah, it's the biggest moment in my career so far, and one of the proudest ones. And like I say, that hopefully there's more to come.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll see. We'll see how you guys get on. But I like yeah, it really is kind of testament to you and kind of all the work you've done. When we spoke last time, we spoke about your ACL injuries and everything,
Yeah.
and like it's so hard coming back from that, and then to kind of prove to yourself like I've got myself fit, I've got myself here, and I've just scored one of the goals that's kind of put us through to making history and going to the Euros this summer.
Yeah, I think to be honest, I would just wanted to. This sounds a bit cliche, but I just wanted to prove myself, and I wanted to, like, after my debut, there was a bit of a hype around this new player that had come in, and I had a decent 30 minutes when I made my debut. I was on such a buzz, and then obviously I did my first ACL, and it was like, oh well, that's that then. And then obviously I came back, and I think I scored against Northern Ireland, and then obviously I did the second one, and then I came back and I scored this goal. So there's always been something after it, but I just wanted to. I felt I'd missed out on World Cup qualifiers, part of the European qualifiers, and I had no. This probably isn't what it seems like to a lot of people, but to as a player, as an individual going through it, I felt like I'd had no impact, and that was really difficult for me to take. And I really wanted to help the team. I really wanted to be a part of the reason why we qualified and have big moments and things like that, and really kind of put my stamp down in history with part of the Welsh history. And yeah, I think all of that in a split second goes through your mind during that penalty, but it doesn't really go through it. But in terms of the weight that I was holding, that's what I kind of built up in my own mind, and it was such a frustrating time, but one that I can look back on now and say, well, that's why it happened. And there's always a reason, and I've said this many a times, you never really know the reason until it hits you in the face, and that penalty definitely was that moment for me.
And finally, you'll be meeting England in the group stages. How are you feeling about that? You must know some of the girls, possibly.
Yeah, I know quite a few. Obviously I've played in the youth groups with quite a few of them. They've all gone on to do absolutely amazing things, and I'm proud to say that I had a moment of playing with these type of players, and you never know what clubs you end up at. Chloe's a good friend of mine. Obviously she scored the penalty in the last Euros, and it was an unbelievable moment for her and for the team. I think we're obviously playing against France and the Netherlands as well, and they're just as good as England, and they've won the tournament themselves. So every single game's exciting, and every single game's going to be a massive occasion. Um, and the first one that comes up will be the biggest game that most of us have ever played in, and then the next one is just another one. And obviously England's the last group game, and hopefully we've got something to play for.
Well, I'm so excited. Like I said to you, the countdown is on. I cannot wait. I'm so excited to see because I just think Wales can have a huge impact at this
Yeah.
Euros, whether like both on and off the pitch. I have a good feeling about the team, but I also think, last Euros we saw the uptick in girls playing football after it because of
Mhm.
what they'd seen on their TV screens or, going to games and everything. And I just think you guys have the chance to do that in Wales as well. And it's just going to be super special. So I just can't wait.
Ah, yeah, it is. Well, thanks for that, and hopefully we live up to it. I'm sure we will.
You will. I know it. I know it. I've got a good feeling. My gut is never wrong. So,
Okay, that's good to know. That gives me some hope as well.
but Hannah Kane, thank you so much for joining us. Can't
Thank
wait to see
you.
you guys over in Switzerland this summer, and we'll keep in touch on the kickback with how you're
Yeah,
going.
definitely. Thanks very much for speaking. It's been great.
Thank you so much.